Good morning, afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. I think I found the scenario to put the AP train on, guys. We're going to put it on that train right there, I think. That looks like a good AP scenario. This free play one from UK Train Sim, I believe, is where this came from. Stick the AP version of that on and have some fun with it is what I think I might do. But that's not what we're doing today. I'm going to save that possibly for Wednesday if I do that one. I'm going to do some of the more of the official scenarios today. This is a 75-minute scenario. This one starts right at Glasgow, so you don't have to go to the depot this time. But we do have to take the train to the depot afterwards. And it's also a little later in the evening, so it's going to be a little darker. Let's get started. It's a long scenario. I don't want to waste too much time chatting here. So no starting message. Let's just go ahead and get straight in the cab, get set up and ready to go. We have to turn the headlights on, which are done. We have to turn the wipers on, which are done. And we have to, we already opened the doors, so there's not much else to do. So let's just get ready for our departure time. We start at 18:58, which is what you see on the timetable there. We have to leave at 7 o'clock, which is 1900 hours. So that's when we're going to depart. Let's go ahead and look at our train before we get started. Leaving Glasgow Queen Street. By the way, there is a green signal right there for us, so we are good to go for that. We can see that was our signal as it just turned red. So we are now on our way out of Glasgow Queen Street, 15 mile per hour speed restriction. And we had sort of a yellow signal right after that, so we just had a yellow signal right there. So we are driving under caution at this time. That means there's most likely a train ahead of us that we have to wait for. And by golly, this is not the Long Island Railroad. We cannot just pass that signal and pull up behind the train like on Long Island Railroad. Not permitted. So we have to wait at that red signal if it is red up ahead. We're now hitting the uphill segment, so we're going to have to play with our speed a little bit to make sure we don't... I hate that occlusion. I really do. I'm pretty sure there's something that fixes that occlusion. I just don't know where it is. Probably on UK Train Sim or something like that. I need to see if I can find that for the last career journey. If I remember. I probably won't, but if I remember. So it looks like there is a yellow signal. We can go 30 now, by the way, so let's go 30. This is a standard scenario, so it doesn't matter if we speed, but even so, we're still going to go ahead and do things by the book. The only thing we have to worry about is being on time for our stops. So 9:15 is our first stop at Croy. And then 9:26 at Falkirk High, 9:35 at Linlithgow, 9:51 at Haymarket, and then so on for the last stop at Edinburgh as well. Let's get ourselves up to 100% speed so we can, or throttle, so we can get ourselves to maximum speed. We have an alert for that signal, the yellow signal up ahead. It just turned green, so I guess we're going a little slowly. We're probably supposed to follow this train. Plenty of chances for that to happen. So I want to try and talk about some of the stuff on the route that used to be today. This is a route that has a number of old stations, a number of old paths that no longer exist. Scotland pretty much got, let's just say, destroyed in terms of its rail network by the Beaching Act. The UK got a better shake out of it than Scotland did. So now, not everything I'm going to talk about is necessarily beaching, but it is things that used to be on the route and therefore is of interest. I think this is a double yellow signal. So coming out of the tunnel here, one of the first things to point out is there used to be a path that went to 2 additional stations on 2 different routes. One is Pigston North, the other is Craighall. I don't have information about those stations, unfortunately, immediately available, but I am knowing that they used to exist. And I don't think they were stations. I think they were more like goods locations. I think they were goods yards or something like that, because that's the icon I have for them. So they were in this area before the turn off to Springburn, which is going to be coming in on the right. That might be it right there, actually. You can see the red signal over there for the other track. That's not for the turn-in. That's for the other track. I am at full throttle, so I'm just not getting up to speed right now, unfortunately. And the line did merge in, so it looks like there was a merge here of some form. You can see the Eastfield downline coming up, so Eastfield Depot is coming ahead here. We are passing by the way the cow layers section as well. The station for cow layers was in the section before that split. Cow layers closed in 1964. We have a red signal. That's who we were waiting for. The 1815 Edinburgh to Glasgow Queen. Thankfully, we got that downtime. Actually, I think the penalty brake triggered as I went to brake myself, so I had to suffer the consequences of that one. But we're moving again now. So yeah, we got a red signal. I think we're on time, guys. So yeah, cow layers closed in on September 7th of 1964. So that, I assume, would have been something around the Beaching Act, because they decided you didn't need as many stations on this route, which they might have a point, but I mean, with cars becoming a thing after the war that people were starting to get their hands on en masse, I can understand that. So we're being routed over to the downline for some reason. Interesting routing decision. So we had a green signal. We continue to have a green signal. I don't know why I pulled the throttle back there. I honestly don't. So here's the Eastfield Depot. There is something that used to go around this area. The Hamilton Hill branch of the, what's it called? Hamilton Hill branch of the Caledonian Railway used to go along this area here. It actually went right over the end of the depot. So there were a couple of locations that were, a couple of lines that were accessible by that. Hamilton Hill branch was the main thing. I am speeding like an idiot right now because I am an idiot. There we go. I thought my speed had gone up by then. Apparently it hadn't. I wasn't paying full attention. 85 is our speed limit now. So the Hamilton Hill branch, well, let's just say it doesn't exist anymore. It's been lifted. The Hamilton Hill yard closed at an early date, but the line was at one point extended to the Lanarkshire and Dunbartonshire Railway. Apparently, it just doesn't exist anymore. Main thing we need to know about that. So Bishop Briggs is coming up here. We are going to go through that. That is still around. So this is Bishop Briggs. Continue for a little while here, and then we're going to come upon Lindsay. Lindsay is the next station we're going to be passing through. We're getting yellow signals. We got to pay attention for a moment. Double yellow. It does not mean we have to screech to a halt here this time, thankfully, but it does mean we have to pay attention. That is a train on the other track. Oh, I see what's happening. We're going to have to either wait for this train or it's going to be delayed for us. I don't know yet. But we have a regular yellow signal, so we have to screech a little bit slower now. I mean, what is this for a camera view, guys? Look at this. This is just awesome. Oh, yeah, car over the bridge at the same time. I love it. I feel like going just a little faster to try to catch him. He's going 40 right now. I can tell he's going 40. We're probably gonna have to come to a halt at the signal ahead though. Let's zip ahead and take a peek. Yeah, we got. Oh no, is that a green? We have a green now. Okay, we have a green. Whatever was ahead of us cleared, so we can go ahead. Yep, there it is. So that delayed service I mentioned, he has to wait for us. 1848 is delayed. It's going to be delayed further as we get the green. I don't believe we passed through Lindsay yet. If we did, then we would have gone past the site of the Lindsay Junction, which leads to another couple of old railways. Namely the Campsie branch and the Monkland and Kirkintilloch Railway. I look down and I look up and it says I was speeding. It must have had a 40 junction I wasn't really paying attention to because I didn't see a sign for it. This is what happens when you try to give information on a route, ladies and gentlemen. You're trying to be the historical expert, you're looking down at your notes instead of looking at what speed you should be going. I kind of don't want to go full speed anymore because I just don't trust it. So I believe this is Lindsay right here. So we had a series of junctions coming up in this area right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and go full speed because I can do so. I don't know why I keep getting marked as speeding. Let's go to where we are up here. So as I said, that was Lindsay right there. So it's in this area that those railways used to exist. Right in this general area, those railways used to be on the map somewhere in this area. Definitely well before Croy, which is further ahead. So somewhere in this whole area is where they used to be. The second junction coming in, and this is from the same track that just formed off of us. The second junction is Watergate Junction. After Watergate Junction, we have what used to be called Garngaber Goods. I don't know if there's a building designating Garngaber Goods here, or if the building is even still around. But that used to be in the area before Croy, between Waterside Junction and Croy. I'm assuming the sidings were all lifted by now too. There must have been a siding or a stop or something like that used to be that as well. It probably used to be a freight stop. Freight stops aren't really as much of a thing anymore unless you're doing like a coal train or something on some routes. Or if you have a 1950s route, you're able to simulate those kind of things. Pick up the goods for the passengers, get them to Glasgow or something. I don't know. Of course, 1950s routes also means you're driving a steam train, unless you have an '08 shunter. Just happens to be lying around. Now, Croy is our stop, so we better not mess up and go past Croy by accident. That would be pretty bad. So I'm dropping the throttle level so I don't go all the way up to the 100 speed. I should kind of go back and forth here between what. There we go. That's the point I want to be at. Perfect. This might be where Garngaber Goods used to be. I don't know. And now that we're finally up to full speed, we have to come to a stop because Croy is right there. Yeah, that looks like it would be where Garngaber Goods used to be. Again, I don't know. I'm just kind of going based on educated guessing. Ooh, we're going to screech this down. Alright. Cutting a little bit of speed off here so we can make our stop at Croy. We have lots of time. I actually am going to take a little more off because I got lots of time here. So I'm not going to worry too much about this. And pull it back up a little. So we're coming down to about 30 right now, which is where I want to be. So we're going to coast at this point, bring the train in just a little bit, and then we're going to come to a full stop. Here we go. We're in Croy now. So now a little more brakes. Please and thank you. Take them off a little bit and reapply them. Now we're going to go full brakes for a second. Now I'm going to try to coast for a moment because I actually did not want to stop yet. Let's go ahead a little bit, please. Point up just a wee bit more. A little bit of an unprofessional stop here today, ladies and gentlemen. Stop here. That'll do. Open the doors. We made the stop at Croy, platform number 1. Leaving Croy, our next stop is Falkirk High. We're going to come across the areas of a few closed railway stations along the next section of the line here. In fact, we're going to pass the site of 4 railway stations, which we may or may not... I turned the wipers off somehow. We may or may not be able to recognize them on the map here, so I'm just going to start talking about them. We're going to be passing the site of Dullatur Station, D-U-L-L-A-T-U-R, Dullatur. It served the village of Dullatur, North Lanarkshire, until 1967, when it closed in June of 1967, June 5th of 1967, if you want to be exact. So that's the first station we're going to be passing. And somewhere else along here, we're going to have the Castlecarry railway station, which also closed in 1967, but in March of 1967. It served the village of Castlecarry. And yeah, it served also the Castlecarry Fire Clay and Lime Works. It was in the area as well. I don't know the status of that building, but it was in the area back in the old railway days as well. So it probably had goods shipped by the railway as well. The railway literally formed a lot of England. Everything was built around the railway, and then things around the railway started closing, and everyone started fending for themselves, basically what ended up happening here. But there are still places where there are things open near stops that still exist. They're really the more common passenger stops, and a few other stops as well. And then the historical railways, like the West Somerset, for example. Getting up to 60 miles per hour. Our speed limit is 100. Now, the one station I know I can probably place very accurately is Upper Greenhill Railway Station. Upper Greenhill would be located probably near those Greenhill junctions. The Greenhill Lower Junction is probably nearby. So when we pass the route to Cumbernauld, we're going to probably come upon the area where the Upper Greenhill Station used to be. Because we're going to pass by the Upper Greenhill Junction. That's probably where the station used to be, in fact, around that junction. Probably right before it. Actually, from what I can see, it looks like it was before the Cumbernauld branch off there. Looks like it was before Cumbernauld. So we'll probably see it about a mile or two. Whoa, that's not what I want to do. Based on what I see of the map here, we're probably coming up on it right in this area right here. And I missed a train passing us right there as well, just in case you heard that little noise. So this station didn't survive very long. This station actually closed in 1865. So it was very, very quickly removed from the map. Didn't survive very long. Only about 17 years, 1848 to 1865, Upper Greenhill was gone. We're now doing 90 miles per hour, so we are going to try to make sure we don't speed here. Now, after the Upper Greenhill Junction, there's one more station we're going to pass the site of before we get to our next stop at Falkirk High. That particular station is the, that particular station I don't have on my information right now. I have a lot of other pages open here. That last station is Bonnybridge High. So we're going to be passing the site of Bonnybridge High. We're coming up to our 100, so let's make sure we don't speed. Hear the train working hard today. I'm watching for that Upper Greenhill Junction, which will meet the Lower Greenhill Junction. There it goes, right there, I believe. Or that's a siding right before it. Yeah, I think that was the Greenhill Junction, the Upper Greenhill Junction right there. You can see a whole bunch of tracks going off to the left now. We maintain our 2 going in this direction, so there's some sidings over there, I guess. So now somewhere in this area we're going to be passing the site of Bonnybridge High. That could be it right there, actually, for all I know. And this station closed in 1967 as well. So 3 stations out of the 4 in this stretch closed as a result, I believe, of the Beeching era. They didn't last very long after Beeching laid down his recommendations for railways to apparently waste more money. I mean, we know how that went. Railway business, railway income apparently not as good because people did not have access to the local stations anymore, so they refused to use the railway and just start using cars. Well, that worked out well for them, didn't it? That worked out well for Beeching. He didn't care. He just made recommendations. He was the guy who wrote the recommendations. He doesn't care. Probably dead now. Why are we still listening to him? So we're coming up on 2 miles away from Falkirk High, which is going to be on our head in the next 10-15 seconds or so. Or 5 seconds. There it is. We're going to wait till we get about a mile away again, then we're going to go ahead and start slowing down. Not a really heavy brake yet, but just a gradual one. We don't have to be there for another 5 minutes. Wow. Well, 3 minutes technically. 3 minutes when we will be there apparently. 5 minutes but the time we're going to pass by. And I didn't slow down around the time I should have, so now I will need a heavy brake application. So 5 minutes is our arrival time. It's coming down fairly nice. I'm going to ease off just a little bit the brakes. And actually, I'm going to ease it way off because I'm getting down to the 30s now. So I'm way below my expected entry velocity at this point. Let's just go ahead and ease our way in now. Another train there, by the way. The Edinburgh to Glasgow Queen 1900. It's also making a stop at Falkirk High, so I'm putting a heavier brake application on just to get our speed down now. I heard his doors closing, so he's finishing his stop as we're pulling in. Trying to coast to the end of the platform. There we go. That will do nicely. Arrive at Falkirk High, Platform 1. And the end doors probably aren't opening. They actually didn't at the previous stop either, even though we were on the platform. So, anyway, doors are open. Leaving Falkirk High. Our next stop is Linlithgow. Bit of a spoiler alert, the next scenario, Linlithgow, will be the turnaround point for our train coming from the Haymarket area, so that'll be the next scenario we do in the next video. So this section of railway we're not going to see next time. Or anything up to Glasgow for that matter. Now the headlights are on, so we should be able to see very brightly into this deep dark tunnel. Maybe not. We wish. The headlights are on. Like, I mean, you can see I just turned the taillights on, so the headlights are back on. You just can't see much. It's dark in here, I tell you. So this is called the Falkirk Tunnel. And on the other side of this, we're going to eventually have the Polmont Junction coming in from tracks that do still exist before we get to Polmont Station. We're moving back into 100 mile per hour speed limit. We're going to move back into a 90 in just a moment. 90 mile per hour speed limit once again. Still watching for Polmont here. Pretty sure I haven't missed it yet. Should be coming in from the left momentarily. We're going to have a right bend into Polmont as the station joins. We also have a siding here, as you can see. Going to trim the throttle down a notch here, maybe 2 notches, to make sure we don't speed, because we are going into a 90 section here. This should do nicely. So there's the red signal. Actually, that's a different line. There's a train right there waiting for us, the ALO to Edinburgh. So this is now the line joining at the Polmont Junction from Falkirk, Grahamston and company. Camelon, I believe, is up there as well. Larbert, Stirling are definitely in that direction. This is Polmont Station. Now the next feature talked about is a junction that used to exist. I believe it was Coatbridge Line Junction, as it's being noted here. It used to lead to the Slaminen Railway, which was built to, originally it was built to extend the line to Boroughs Townness, which is now just called Bowness. And that line does still exist. Manuel Station, I believe, is now on that area. There used to be a couple of other areas where Manuel Station used to be, but now it actually seems to be a stop on the line of some form. I don't know exactly because it happened after this line was constructed, so I can't comment really on that. But the area where Manuel Station is where a track still exists on our map. That track does show, I think I mentioned this on a previous scenario, that track does show going off here. So this is where Manuel Station is, right in this area, where the SRPS arrival signing is. So this route used to connect to that railway, which also continued towards Causeway End and further. And eventually Causeway End Junction merged fully into the Slamodon Railway, which I don't know exactly where the Slamodon Railway fully went. I don't have those details immediately in front of me, but yeah, it used to be in this area coming up. So after we pass all these junctions, you see the junctions showing right now, which I believe came from that area. So after we pass all this, we're going to be going through where Manuel High Level Station used to be. We're also going to be passing the site of the Lockmill Goods before we get to Linlithgow itself. Notice I have not exceeded 88 miles per hour because we are traveling in at 90. I'm not even worried about that 100 up ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and let the throttle come off so I can just start slowing down a little bit naturally, but I am going to put brakes on as I get closer to Linlithgow. Now we really need to hit the brakes as I have not been braking properly here. Now this almost feels like a tunnel used to be here, but there's at least a bridge going over. I can see that. You can take a look at the train from outside, so it looks like this is not registered as an old tunnel area at all. There actually is one area on the London to Brighton line where you actually do get put into a tunnel without actually being in a tunnel. You saw the 1915 service there. I've taken my throttle back on for a moment because I'm coming in a little slowly, but I am going to want to come to a stop here at Linlithgow. We have lots of time to do it, so I'm actually not even... I don't have a care in the world right now. I got 4 minutes to make this stop. Hey, 4 minutes of video you don't have to see. There's some people. And I did get all the doors open at the last stop as well, so sometimes the stations do work. But sometimes they don't. So we're going to go ahead and just coast in and come to a full stop as the platform disappears in the window. There it is. Stopping right there will do. Arrival at Linlithgow, platform number 1. Leaving Linlithgow, we got a little excitement there as a Class 37 just suddenly peeled by as we closed our doors. Our next stop is Haymarket. So we're going to be seeing this part of the journey in the next scenario. Again, spoiler alert. But it's going to be a little bit of a nicer day when we do that. Right now it's just a little mucky, dark, dreary evening here. tiny opening to the side there. We are going to be passing one more station I want to mention right now, old station location at Phillipstown. That is the, I'm not going to give you too much history in this area because I can talk about this part next time. But Phillipstown served the village of Phillipstown coming up here to the east of Linlithgow. So we're going to be coming upon that, the site of that station in a moment here. Phillipstown is around the point where the right bend occurs in the line. So in this general area right here is where I believe Phillipstown Station used to be. This is probably Phillipstown right here. I can verify that by taking a look at the map very quickly. No, you know what? No, Phillipstown is over here. This is where Phillipstown used to be in this general area, so we're not even close to it. We're not even close to it. We're still at Linlithgow. So you got 14 and a half miles or so to go before Haymarket here. Or 14 and 3/4 miles, I should say. Sorry for that noise you just heard. I keep hitting something on my desk every time I'm recording. Don't know why I do that. I need to do something about that thing that used to hold a keyboard above my legs here. I keep hitting that. Ah, this is where Phillipstown is. You can see the buildings off to the right there. This is the Phillipstown area right here. So I believe the station would have been in this general area. So a little bit further along, we're going to come upon Winchburg Junction. And right after Winchburg Junction, we're going to pass, I believe, the site of Winchburg itself before the Winchburg Tunnel. Winchburg is no longer open. We're coming up to an 80 mile per hour section. We're actually at 94 right now, so I need to put a little bit of brakes on before we get there. Going to coast at 90 for right now. 80 is where the junction goes off towards Dalmany. That's where Winchburg Junction is. So now I'll put a little bit of brakes on if I can. Thank you. We're going to have another 90 mile per hour section coming up as well. Can I get a little more brakes, please? Thank you. That will do splendidly for right now. Oh, don't increase. Don't increase. It's trying to. So you have 7 notches here. I'm kind of holding on notch 4. I can't hold at the proper speed or any of these notches right now, so we'll deal with it. So this was the Winchburg area right here, and now we're in the Winchburg Tunnel. Somewhere off to our left, the Port Edgar line also emerged at this point. I don't think that's the proper name of the line, just the Port Edgar is a stop at the end of the line. And the line does continue beyond apparently, but I don't have any notes on that. New Halls and South Queens Ferry Hall were on that line as well. We're now in a 90 again, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up one more time. I'll just go to 100 for a moment. Percent throttle, that is. By the way, leaving the tunnel, Broxburn Oil would have gone off to our right. Not there today, but it was. One thing I can tell you is that we are going to be joining at the Bathgate Junction once again. The Bathgate Junction will join us. Now, I think I gave it another name last time. I think it might just have two different names on it. According to my other notes, the junction is called the Newbridge Junction, not the Bathgate Junction. So I think, I'm guessing whoever put the information on Wikipedia just decided to call it the Bathgate Junction because that's the known station on the line. But Newbridge Junction is the name that I have on it, and that's the name I'm going with. You may know it as the Bathgate Junction, however. And I believe that's it coming in right now. You'll see some activity over there on the right. And it is now joined. And we're in a very, very busy area of the railroad here. There used to be a turnoff towards the Ingliston Colliery, which is in the middle of the two tracks that are now on this part of the line. And you also can reach the Turnhouse station, also linking the two lines. So that all used to be in this area. I can go up to a higher speed again. So here we go. 100 is our speed limit again. There's a number of other old stations I'm not going to talk about today, but we'll talk about those next time. One thing I can tell you is that Edinburgh Park is going to be coming up, probably in another train, by the way. Probably in about a mile or two or so in that range. So we're going to be seeing Edinburgh Park. Once again, I'm going to be super early for the stop by 2 minutes according to my ETA. Exactly where I want to be with my speed right now, so I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. I don't think I've seen Edinburgh Park yet. Oh, here it is, right here. Now, you may remember I mentioned the Saunton Junction in a previous video. The reason that it's called the Saunton Junction, at least one reason, is because Saunton used to be a station right after the junction. Again, we'll talk about that more next time, but I just wanted to throw that little tidbit in there right now. Saunton used to be right after the junction. We're going to watch for the junction to come in. So this really, really busy area of railway lines is going to be all merged into one line now. Of course, this junction comes from Dalmeny as well. I need to start lowering my speed because 90 is our limit. So we're going to do that very, very efficiently. And there is the line coming in from Dalmeny. And all the areas north of there. At this point, I think we're just going to let the train coast, because we are going to be stopping in Haymarket in 2 miles anyway, and there is another reduction in speed limit. So letting the train coast just seems like the natural thing to do. We have lots of time. No reason to rush. You can actually see the 40 is right at the platform. Which is good, because we're going to be going 30 by that point anyway. So Sutton would have been in this general area that we're just passing right now, I believe. Or just passed. You'll see the Haymarket West Junction peeling off. We're getting an alert for a reduction in the speed, I believe is what that's for. Yep, there's the 40 board. So I took the speed down to 60 for the time being. Oops, that was an increase by accident. Okay, let's drop it down a little further now. I took it down to 53, but I need to really start taking it down if I'm going to get to 40 on time. Oh, I need to come to a stop. I should probably come to a full stop. Let's just keep hitting those brakes. So we're in Haymarket. We have all the time. We have all the places on Earth to make a stop here. We can go wherever we need to go here in Haymarket. We're going to be filling the platform now. So I'm just going to coast along and look for the car, the 6-car stop. That's the 3-car stop. So I'm going to put a little more brakes on to prepare for that. There's the 6-car stop. We're going to stop right here. That'll do. Probably not right on it, but welcome to Haymarket, platform number 3. Leaving Haymarket, our next and final stop is, of course, Edinburgh, Waverley, platform 17, our route terminus. Leaving at a speed limit of 40 miles per hour. This is not a career scenario, so I'm just going to be wrapping up right at Edinburgh, Waverley. So I want to say now, if you are enjoying what you're seeing here today, make sure you do like the video, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I had some nice reaction to the Long Island Railroad videos that I put up there, and I really enjoyed playing those, and I actually am making notes of the timetable from the 2019 area so I can go ahead and try to make some of my own content. I still want to do that. That's where I want to try to start my scenario building, though I am going to try and do some for other routes as well as I get more comfortable with doing it. So I'm going to make an effort to do it with the Long Island Railroad for my own scenario building. Most of the stuff you see under my name on the workshop are things by other people so far that I fixed, but I haven't actually done anything of my own yet. So I want to actually try and get some of my own content out there. And I think, especially if the M3 ever comes to Long Island Railroad, I'm going to be very interested in showcasing that with it. So I want to be ready for that in case it happens. And the reason I'm so convinced it's going to happen because we had one for the Train Sim World. So the texturing work is already done. They can copy in the textures. Just a model of making the rest of the train. Just a case of making the rest of the train work at that point. So I am hopeful that it comes in. Is that my yellow or is that... I have a yellow. Okay, sorry. I misread the signal for a second. I do have a yellow. Why am I stopping? Better to be safe than sorry. In this case, it might actually cost me a little bit of time. Double yellow we have. So now we're getting close to the 20. We're going to stop right there at 19.7 miles per hour. Coasting down to 19.6 at this point. We can bump that up a wee bit if we need to. So we just went through the Haymarket Tunnel. That's what we came out of way back in that direction. The Haymarket Tunnel was over there. We're going to be coming into the Mounds Tunnel in a moment. Sorry, that's Mound, singular. Mound Tunnel. Now, I believe this yellow signal does not trigger the alert. So this is an error. This signal should be triggering an alert that you have to respond to. It doesn't for whatever reason. Now I have to see on the 5 circle line whether that signal works, but I have a feeling maybe it's just the signal type doesn't work. Maybe the signal type just fails. If they copy the signal in, then 5 circle will have the same signal. See a train over there. It's not labeled. You saw a label come up far to the right, but that's not the train next to me. We're just gonna... Whoa, I didn't want to stop yet. Keep going. Keep going. Thank you. So again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have the Sunday line closure scenario as my next scenario here. You'll be seeing that right after this if you're looking at the playlist. It's going to be coming out on Saturday, and this is coming out obviously on Friday today. So they're going to be one day apart. Keep an eye for the next one on the playlist right after this, after a day has passed. And let's look at the train as we finish. Okay, back in the cab, I actually forgot for a moment that we actually have to stable this train. So I'm going to turn the headlights off. We're going to turn the wipers off. We're going to head back to the back of the train. We're going to get ready to leave in this direction in a moment. We have our green signal telling us we can leave heading for line Z. So we are going to be doing that in just a moment. Let's turn these headlights on. I said on. Thank you. Wipers going back on. We're going to be leaving in this direction in just a moment. So here's the stops we have to make to... Waverley, or Waverley is where we are now. We're going to go to Haymarket Depot and eventually to the Haymarket Depot line 7. So we're going to go via the washer and then line 7. Here we go. We are off to Haymarket Depot. We're not given directions to change ends, which is really, really strange that the scenario makers didn't give us this information. But they didn't, so we'll deal with it. So we're leaving at a 20-mile-per-hour speed. It looks like we got 25 coming up. I'm probably going to speed in the depot. You know me. I like seeing these kind of depot movements inside scenarios. Like wherever the line is, whether you're on Liverpool to Manchester and you're pulling into Manchester Piccadilly and then sabling the train a little earlier in the line, whether you're on, what's another good route? Bristol to Exeter, you have to pull into Bristol Temple Meads and then continue north to the depot and stop there. Whatever the location is, it's really nice to have that stabling the train movement in there because it is considered as a separate service in the timetable. If you look at the timetable, you'll see, for example, 1905 to 2013 service between these two stops, and then the next service in the timetable is 2015 to 2020. You're stabling the train. That's basically what you're doing. 2 different services in one scenario in that case. So I like having the second service tacked on in some cases rather than just being its own little scenario. It makes sense that you would actually drive the train into the depot, so why not? Yes, I picked those times around the time I'm driving right now, just intentionally. Don't ask. go 35 now, by the way. There is no time limit on our stabling mission, so we can do this whenever we need to. We have a yellow signal up ahead, which seems about right for us. There is a 5 coming up on the line as we pull into the depot. I'm going to just go up to about 30 right now. That way I don't have to screech for the 25, but I am going to screech for the 5. Thank you. So I'm at 30.7. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I'm sure the timetable people are like, get off the line, other train needs the line. I'm not in a hurry. I'm just doing this when I want to today. This is a game environment. You can't make me. What, you're going to fire me? Fine, I'll speed up. I guess we'll do it properly. Welcome back to Haymarket. There, 33. That'll do. I'm not doing any more. So there's our junction. I'm going to go ahead and slow down for that now, whether the timetable people are happy with me or not. And a wee bit more. A wee bit more, I said. There it is. Down to 25, and I am going to have to screech for that 5 in a moment. As we reach the North Goods Loop. So the washer line is the one that is now set for us. And the reason it's 5 miles per hour is because it's the washer line. I mean, what else is there to discuss here? We have a single yellow signal. There are no more signals for us at this point, so we have to proceed on our own intuition here. In other words, we are safe to proceed to the end of the line. As long as it is the correct line, and I hope it is. So we're going to verify that it's the correct line. We're supposed to go to line 7, but I don't know if line 7 is the one that is set for me. Let's check this. Oh, I see the problem. Oh, we have to back into the line. That's why. Okay. We have to back into line 7, which is way up here. That's where we're going to be going. Okay, I got it. So we're going to take the train for a train wash, and then we're going to park the train after we headshunt backwards. That's how this is going to work. Put a tiny bit more juice on this tiger. I said put a tiny bit more juice, thank you. Time to get all soapy. There's the wash right there. You can see some stoplights on the various garages, by the way. So, ignore the fact that we have passengers. That should not be the case. So we're going through the train wash right now. Squeaky clean. Squeak. Is that... Proceed forward to the headshunt to reverse your train into Depot Line 7 West. The points in the depot are all manually controlled, so you will need to change them to reach your final destination. Roger. What I want to know is if that's the service train over there. It is. It's a depot movement. It started 3 minutes ago, apparently. I don't know what it's doing, but it started 3 minutes ago. And FYI, you can actually go through that end of the line by accident. You can actually go through those stop signs. I did it once. And you can see I'm going to go through a garage door here. You can actually go right through there. As funny as it sounds, you can go right through there. You shouldn't, but you can. Game limitations, ladies and gentlemen. Train wash, round 2. And if you want me to stop making train wash noises, you'll be happy to know I'm going to stop doing that because they're not real train wash noises. Which you probably knew already, so. Hey! Beauty. Alright, making progress here. It's very, very slow, but we are making progress. We have to get at least into the whole orange area here. You see the switch we're passing right now. So we have to make our way completely into the orange area so we can hit the switch and go in the other direction where we want to go. That would be ideal. So if we put our brake man at the end of the train here, you can actually see, again, those nice flashing lights in the distance there, saying do not proceed into the garage door. We don't want you in the garage door. So we're going to keep an eye on the back of the train here, where there seems to be a driver in the back of the train. Hello, that's apparently my ghost clone. I should probably change the destination board. I don't know if I can do that or not. Can I? I need to remember how to do that. I don't remember if I can do that or not. I'm going to get ready to come to a stop here because that's the first thing I need to do. Come to a stop. You can see I am passing the switch right now, so I am going to be fully in the Headshunt in a moment. And let's see if I can figure out how to change this destination board. Because I think I've done it before, I just don't remember how to do it. I can come to a stop now, thank you. So we're going to keep an eye back here for a moment just to see if I can remember how to do this. And I am looking at my information and I don't think I remember how to do this. You know what? I'm okay with that. I think it was like Shift F7 or something like that, or Shift F8, or Control. Whoa, that's not what I want to do. That's, ignore that, ladies and gentlemen. That was kind of funny. Let's get back in the cab and change ends again, because that's what we should be doing, changing ends. So this can go off, this can go off, and back to the front of the train as it used to be. And it once again is. And that's back on, and this is back on, and we're going to go ahead and move this back up to a driving setting. Oh, before I actually take off, let's be intelligent today, shall we? We're going to be intelligent and actually change to line 7, which means we have to change that, we have to change that, we have to change... Wait a second. That's line 8. Okay. This is line number 7. Alright, let's go. So now we're going to make our way over onto the left line, which is exactly where we want to go. I've already checked my path, so I know my path is set correctly. I don't have to worry about that. Fantastic news for my part. See the blinking red lights. Probably going to see those on the next scenario as well, since we're going to have line closures. Definitely expecting to see stop signs and blinking red lights on the next scenario. Here's Depot Line 7 coming up. This is the depot line that is of interest to us. Actually, we have to stop up here at the shed. We can't actually go beyond this said door. Oh, no, we're pulling into this shed. This is the shed we can pull into. Okay, never mind. We can use this one. You know what? We're going to be proper here. We're going to stop. We're going to be proper here. I have to treat this as a stop signal for a moment. So I'm going to stop here for a second. So notice that it says stop whistle before proceeding. Now we're going to put the train back on. And there's the side view from the other side of the cab in case you want to see what the second man sees. Now notice I made that stop just before I hit the Haymarket Depot Line 7 marker. If I had hit that marker, I would have actually had my stop process. So I had to screech to a halt there just to make sure I didn't get my stop process before I was ready to. So it looks like we're coming to a closed garage door here. We can't... Well, we can, but we shouldn't go past that garage door. We better act like it's actually closed. Or is it open? I think it's closed. I can't decide. Oh, it's closed. It is closed. That is a closed door. You may not pass this closed door if you want to be realistic. I'll show you what I mean. No, I can't. Never mind, I can't show you what I mean. It's closed anyway. That's all you need to know. It's a closed door, and basically if we were to go beyond that door, I'm going to make you sick. Sorry, guys. Let's go ahead and stop right here before I get in trouble. Let's look at the train. There's a good way to look at it. See that stoplight? We would have been going through that stop sign. That's not advised. Turn the headlights off, turn the wipers off, and shut the engine down. We're done here. So we're in the shed. We're going to go ahead and just park it here for the night. And well done, that was a successful drive. Thank you very much. It wasn't as much successful as I wish it was, but it was successful enough that I am happy with it because I got from point A to point B, and that's all we care about, getting from point A to point B. As for the destination boards, I'll figure that out next time because I'm not 100% sure offhand. I still haven't found it. I've been looking for it this entire time, and I still haven't found it, so I can't tell you exactly what that is. I'll do that on a future trip. People working nearby. So have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. The next scenario is going to be following this one shortly. In the meantime, Sunday line closures is that next scenario. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for you. And yeah, stay tuned for that on my playlist in 3, 2, 1.